Hey there, welcome back on this beautiful snowy winter day. Thanks for joining me again. I haven't had anything to talk about recently because, to be honest, I'm no longer exactly sure how I feel. I always find these periods fascinating because they aren't colored by how I think I should feel or how I want to feel. In the 12 years since my paradigm shift, I've learned to try to ignore the things that my mind wants to tell me that I am or wants to tell me that I want. And I try to pay attention to my actions instead. And of course, my inactions as well. To try to understand what's actually going on with me. So, for example, if I decided that I'm going to start going to the gym, get myself a membership, get in better shape, and then I find myself not going, thinking about it, not wanting to go, feeling guilt and shame for not going. But these days, instead of shaming myself for how I'm acting, I actually try to pay attention to that. I look at my inaction and I question, well, why my intentions and actions don't seem to be matching. I examine my motivations for wanting to go to the gym in the first place, and I try to separate which motivations come from someplace real and healthy and which are products of ego. And this process often leads me to find a positive way forward. To get out of a cycle of wanting and guilt. In the case of the gym, my true motive when I put ego aside is physical health through activity, and that can be achieved while doing things that I actually like to do, such as dancing or hiking. They don't need to be in some sort of sweaty box with other people pumping iron. I found this thought process to be really valuable and liberating. It liberated me from a lot of shame and guilt we feel when we don't live up to our own expectations. Expectations that usually aren't even our own. They often come from our society, our family, our friends, our jobs, and we adopt them so completely that we have no idea what we really want, or even get to the point of thinking we're bad people for wanting something different from those around us. So listening to myself and trusting my actions are a product of a subconscious that knows more about what's really going on than I'm aware of. And observing my behavior gives me clues about my deeper self. And that actually leads to true personal growth, it seems, time and again. So why am I now suddenly unsure of how I feel after weeks of deep soul searching? It's because I no longer feel as disconnected from life as much as I have been. Some shadow or weight over my mind is lifted, and I'm not 100% sure why. It could simply be that having these conversations with no one has allowed me to get all this out. So I'm no longer carrying it around. It allowed me to think through it and bring it to my conscious mind. It could also be because I recently changed my environment and circumstance in a positive way that includes more connectivity and more possibilities. Or it could be because the discovery I made that my paradigm shift left me with a profound fear of ego and the way it can corrupt and manipulate us. And by questioning that deeper, I think I've managed to shift my perspective somewhat. So it's probably a combination of all of those things, but at the existential level, starting to work through my fear of ego is really what I believe freed me up to move forward. I don't quite have any answers yet, though I do have a few interesting clues. But I think the reason I feel like a shadow's been lifted from me is that I've identified an area in my life I need to work through, which in turn gives me something new I want to learn about myself. I'm no longer wondering why I'm feeling depressed, disconnected. I now have a way forward. So here I am now, feeling lighter, actually living my life more than I have in a while. I don't have any idea if this feeling will pass. Maybe it'll fade away, or maybe it'll lead me to do new things, explore new experiences. I've definitely started becoming creative again, which is a good sign. And all I can do for now is keep going, enjoy watching it all unfold, and enjoy learning more about my journey in the process, like always. So if we don't talk again soon, thank you for being here and listening. Thank you for allowing me to have these conversations with no one. I really appreciate it. Take care.